$76.2 billion. That's not just a budget, it's a massive sum of money shaping the UK's future in ways most people don't even realize. What if I told you that some of that is going into experimental fighter jets, AI-powered weapons, and even controversial nuclear submarines? But here's the catch. While the government claims it's all about safety and strategy, critics say it's full of holes. So where's all that money really going? And is it making us safer or just more vulnerable? Budget overview. Let's start with the monster number, $76.2 billion. That's how much the UK is spending on defense in 2025. In pounds, that's around $60.5 billion. It's not just a bump in spending, it's the biggest increase since the Cold War days. The government says it's all about staying prepared in a world full of uncertainty. We've got Russia stirring things up, China rising fast, and cyber threats that don't sleep. This kind of budget puts the UK just behind the US in NATO spending. That sounds impressive, right? But what does that actually mean? Does bigger spending mean better defense? Or is it more about showing off? The world's changing fast, and this budget is the UK's way of saying, we're ready, but ready for what? Strategic priorities in 2025. So, where's the focus this year? This isn't about stacking more tanks in a warehouse or loading more guns onto ships. The 2025 budget is designed for a new kind of war, a digital, fast-moving, intelligence-heavy war. We're talking artificial intelligence doing target tracking, satellites watching every move from above, and automated drones that could strike without warning. The UK's putting serious cash into modern warfare, especially tech that's still in development. They want an edge in the battles that haven't even started yet. But here's where things get complicated. Investing in the unknown is risky. It's like betting big on a game where the rules keep changing. If the tech works, great. But if it fails, that's billions gone with nothing to show for it. Still, the government says this is the future of defense. The question is, will it be worth it? Personnel and salaries, no. Behind every ship, jet, and strategy, there's a person. Soldiers, engineers, analysts, over 150,000 of them in the UK's armed forces. And guess what? Keeping them trained, paid, and ready takes a massive chunk of the budget, around £14.5 billion. That covers salaries, pensions, housing, and recruitment campaigns. But here's the thing. Recruitment is struggling. The military's having a hard time getting young people to join and keeping experienced ones from leaving. Inflation's biting. Civilian life is looking better for many. So the MOD is boosting benefits and launching flashy ads to turn things around. But you've got to ask, can money fix a cultural shift? Or is this a sign that the military's image just isn't cutting it anymore? Equipment and procurement. Here's where things start heating up. The UK spends billions on hardware jets, tanks, ships, helicopters. In 2025, we saw a £165 million contract go to Leonardo to maintain the Navy's Merlin helicopters. That's just one deal. Billions more are earmarked for F-35 fighter jets and those notorious Ajax armored vehicles. You've probably heard about Ajax. They were supposed to be cutting edge. Instead, they've been delayed for years, with issues from vibration problems to tech glitches. It's become a case study in what not to do. And it's not the only one. Defense procurement in the UK has a reputation for being messy. Too many delays, too many cost overruns. The government keeps promising reforms, tighter contracts, and better oversight. But it's kind of like fixing a leaky ship in the middle of a storm. Can they really clean up procurement while still building for tomorrow? Research and future warfare. If there's one area that screams sci-fi, it's this. The UK is dropping over £2 billion into developing the Tempest, its sixth-generation fighter jet. This isn't just a plane. It's designed to fly alongside drones, think with AI, and link into networks that control weapons without direct human input. It's being built with help from Japan and Italy, and the goal is to have it flying by the mid-2030s. Sounds ambitious, right? It is. But with ambition comes risk. This tech isn't cheap, it's unproven, and timelines are tight. Plus, what if conflict moves away from air combat before this jet even flies? Still, the MOD sees this as an investment in future deterrence. They want to make sure the UK isn't left behind when the next generation of warfare takes off, literally. But in the race for innovation, how much are we willing to gamble? Nuclear deterrent and submarines. And then there's the elephant under the ocean, the UK's nuclear deterrent. A big piece of the budget is going into upgrading the nuclear submarine fleet, replacing the old Vanguards with new Dreadnought-class boats. These subs carry Trident missiles, massive weapons capable of leveling entire cities. Supporters say they're a necessary evil, the ultimate insurance policy against large-scale war. But others argue they're outdated, dangerous, and incredibly expensive. The replacement program alone will cost tens of billions over its lifespan. Some see it as money well spent. Others say it's like paying to keep a weapon you hope never to use. So, is the UK securing peace through strength, or holding on to an old symbol that no longer fits the modern battlefield? Global presence and alliances. Let's zoom out for a second. The UK isn't just protecting its own turf, it's playing the global game. Troops are stationed in Estonia as part of NATO's Eastern Defense. The Royal Navy is patrolling the Indo-Pacific, flexing presence near growing tensions. There are military ties across the Middle East, joint exercises, and air missions that barely make headlines. And here's something unexpected. Despite Brexit, the UK is still pushing for more defense collaboration with Europe. Talks of a joint EU fund are back on the table. Why? Because the government knows power doesn't work in isolation anymore. Alliances are leverage. The question is, how far should the UK stretch its forces before it starts stretching itself too thin? Cyber and space defense. Now let's talk about the battlefields you'll never see. No smoke, no trenches, just screens, satellites, and silence. Cyber defense is getting a huge boost in 2025. The MOD is building up digital capabilities to fight back against hackers, state-sponsored attacks, and cybercrime that could paralyze entire systems. They're also investing more into space because GPS, military comms, and surveillance all depend on what's orbiting above us. These are invisible wars, and they're happening 24/7. The scary part? We usually don't find out something's wrong until after it's too late. So governments are betting billions just to keep things running smoothly. But here's the mind bender. How do you measure success in cyber and space? When nothing goes wrong, it's money spent to avoid disaster, but you never get to see what you avoided. The debate. And now we hit the pressure point. Is all this spending smart or just wasteful? Depends who you ask. Supporters argue defense equals deterrence. They say this money funds innovation, keeps thousands employed, and maintains the UK's global voice. But critics? They see a system that leaks cash. Failed procurement, overpriced equipment, contractor mismanagement, it's a familiar tune. They argue that billions are being lost while public services like healthcare and education struggle. And it's not just about spreadsheets, it's about priorities. In a country facing inflation, housing shortages, and NHS delays, is a massive defense budget what people really want? Or is it something we keep funding out of habit and fear? What do you think? Are we safer with this budget? Or are we spending blindly? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear them. And if this breakdown got you thinking, hit like, share it around, subscribe, and ring that bell. There's a lot more coming.